Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. You're watching Primetime News on this 11th day of the month of September, the year 2025. We have a lot of stories that are lined up for you, but first we get an introduction. With me tonight is Sami Okello. Remember that this broadcast is also live across all our social media platforms. On YouTube, it's KUTV News Kenya. On X, it's KUTV News Kenya. My name is Ochieng, Cynthia. Welcome. Now, according to recent TIFA survey, there is growing opposition to the broad-based government, rising economic concerns, and persistent unemployment in Kenya. The poll shows that 64% of Kenyans people the broad-based government, up from 54% earlier this year, while support stands at only 29%. Opposition is strongest in Mount Kenya and lower in eastern regions, while support is higher in Central Rift and Northern Kenya. The survey also found that 82% of Kenyans blame the finance bill of 2025 for higher cost of food, transport and utilities, with many citing reduced savings and struggles in business. Unemployment remains critical, with 25% jobless and limited opportunities for youth despite government programs. Moving on, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Musalia Mudavadi has reassured the diplomatic community that the country is entering a new phase of economic and foreign policy reforms to restore fiscal stability and attract investment. Mudavadi made the announcement in Nairobi during a quarterly briefing with ambassadors, high commissioners, and representatives of international organizations. He emphasized that the government is prioritizing a fresh program with the International Monetary Fund to strengthen the country's economic framework. Mudavadi further noted that Kenya is engaging global partners to improve its international financial standing while reinforcing its role as a regional anchor for peace, stability, and sustainable development.
On the economy, Kenya has and continues to pursue economic cooperation with various countries as part of the government's National Development Agenda under Vision 2030 and the bottom-up Economic Transformative Agenda, BETTER. Economic and commercial diplomacy remains a key priority of Kenya's foreign policy agenda aimed at enhancing economic cooperation.
Now, Chief Government Pathologist Johansen Odur has confirmed that lawyer Chalo Mbogu died after being shot 8 times, causing heavy bleeding and severe wounds that led to a rapid death.
That lawyer Matthew Chalo died due to excessive bleeding after not being rushed to the hospital promptly. He confirmed that lawyer Mbogu was shot 8 times, but only 2 bullets were recovered from his body. He also explained that the lawyer had severe wounds caused by the bullet fragments found on the left side of the neck and upper shoulder, indicating that the shots were fired at a close range.
So we finished the postmortem of the late Wakili, and upon having examined the body, we found that Wakili was shot a total of 8 times. And with most of the gunshot coming from the right side of the body, we were able to recover 2 bullets, which have been given to the investigating officer for ballistic purposes. So he bled, there's a lot of bleeding because there was a injury to the neck vessels. There was also injury to the spine. So these injuries were severe enough to cause death. Yeah.
The Cabinet Secretary of Interior Security, Kipchumba Murkomen, has strongly condemned the killing of the lawyer, emphasizing that investigations are ongoing. Suspects have been identified.
On the question of the murder of Dr. Michael Chalo Mbobu, this is a very sad thing that has happened in our country. It is akin to what happened also to Honorable Ngondo Were. I feel very sad because as you may want to know, Mr. Mbobu was my teacher and my friend. And we, apart from that, the fact that he taught me, we also work together.
The Directorate of Criminal Investigations has extended condolences to the lawyer's family while assuring the public that efforts to arrest the perpetrators are ongoing. Meanwhile, the Law Society of Kenya has called on the DCI to take measures to protect legal professionals following the lawyer's death on Langata Road in Nairobi. The chief government pathologist's report indicates that the victim could have survived if rushed to the hospital promptly. Murkomen has urged the public to provide any information that can assist in the investigation. Beryl Otieno reporting for KUTV.
Meanwhile, former Rongo Member of Parliament Dalmas Otieno will be laid to rest next month on October the 2nd. Leaders from Rongo constituency in Migori County, led by former Governor Okoth Obado, have continued to mourn the veteran politician who passed away last week at his home.
Family members and leaders from Migori County today gathered at the Lee Funeral Home in Nairobi to view the body and mourn the late former Rongo MP Dalmas Otieno. The former legislator has been described as a politician who cared deeply about the welfare of his constituents and the nation. Former Migori Governor Okoth Obado eulogized him as a principled leader who could not be coerced either politically or in leadership.
I worked very, very well with Dalmas Otieno Nyango when I was elected as the first governor of Migori County in 2013. Despite the fact that we were coming from different political formations, Dalmas really held my hands.
Dalmas was not a self-centered person. He was somebody that was up to assisting as many people as possible.
According to the family, represented by spokesperson Mark Rachuonyo, Dalmas Otieno will be buried next month at his home in Kangeso Village, Rongo, Migori County, on October the 2nd, 2025.
This is a man who transcended tribe, and you know that tribalism is the vice that ravages Migori. There is a minority that continues to weep and wail because of being excluded from positions in the county administration, which unfortunately is creeping in now, and which Dalmas had promised us he was going to address.
Otieno was a politician for over 3 decades, serving as Rongo MP and holding various leadership positions under the administration of President Daniel Arap Moi and Mwai Kibaki. The veteran politician passed away on Sunday at the age of 80.
Support we have received from everybody.
Caroline Kimwele, KUTV.
Now, in other news, Kisii and Nyamira counties are set to benefit from new housing and infrastructure initiatives worth over 48 billion shillings. President William Ruto says the project will create jobs, expand access to housing, and accelerate regional development. The president spoke while hosting a section of Gusii leaders led by Kisii Governor Simba Arati at State House today.
Affordable housing program is expected to employ 600,000 people by the end of the year, with projects including student hostel modern markets and rural electrification. President Ruto emphasized that the initiative is designed to transform livelihoods and drive economic growth in the 2 counties.
I told you, jobs are created, they don't happen. So that's why housing is important. Today, we are building houses, we are building markets, we are building hostels, And this country is going to change. The largest housing development in any town in Kenya today is affordable housing. In any town, Mandera, Garissa, Mombasa, Nairobi, Eldoret, Kiambu, wherever. The largest housing development is affordable housing.
The president also highlighted agriculture as a solution to the cost of living crisis. He said boosting farm productivity will lower food prices and strengthen household resilience nationwide.
Agriculture are important for 3 reasons. Number 1, cost of living. If we produce enough food, we deal with the challenge of cost of living, because food, the price of food, is the biggest contributor to the cost of living. That's number 1. Number 2, agriculture is what the place where we get the highest foreign exchange earnings.
ODM leader Raila Odinga welcomed the initiatives, describing affordable housing as key to Kenya's social and economic progress. He called for inclusivity and local participation to ensure the projects uplift vulnerable groups.
Sasa vile walipanga ujenzi pale nyumba zitajengwa hadi hapa, alafu hapa tutajenga pale watu kufanya kazi, workshops pale watu wanafanya kazi. Pande nyingine soko pale ambayo bidhaa kitoka hapa inaelekwa kwa soko hapa.
Kisii Governor Simba Arati praised the government's commitment, saying the housing program will help reduce shortages and create new job opportunities. He urged continued collaboration between county and national governments to secure lasting impact.
Na nashukuru kwamba umekubali kwamba tunajenga nyumba 10,000 za wakaaji wa Kisii. Kama hizi affordable, kama ungetengeneza Kenya mzima, mahali tungehitaji affordable housing ni Kisii. Hawa waheshimiwa ambao wanakula mshahara, ukiwauliza, wengine wamejenga paa limeangukia mwingine, na maji ikinyesha ikiangukia hii nyumba nyingine ni vitina.
Leaders say with housing, infrastructure and agriculture prioritized, Kisii and Nyamira are on track to become model of sustainable growth and economic empowerment. Edna Nerea, KUTV, Nairobi.
One of President William Ruto's pledge as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya was to put to an end cases of extrajudicial killings, from disbanding the then Special Police Unit accused of extrajudicial killings to the formation of Maraga-led task force on police reforms. 3 years on, what has changed and what remains the same? Auma Evans reports.
His election bid as Kenya's 5th president in 2022, one of his key agenda was to end and dismantle the ugly face of extrajudicial killings in the country.
Nyinyi mnanielewa? Na mambo ya kusemekana ati kuna Mkenya amepotea. Hakuna Mkenya wa kupotea tena. Kama kuna mhalifu lazima apelekwe kotini. Lakini mambo ya extrajudicial killing, ati mtu anapotea, watoto wanapotea, wazee wanapotea, hiyo mambo tutakomesha, na tuhakikisha ya kwamba lazima kila mtu apitishwe kutoka kwa sheria ndio apelekwe kotini. Hakuna mwananchi atapotea kiholela. Sijui kama tunaelewana.
At the beginning of his tenure, there were signs that he would walk the talk. First on his list when he was first sworn in as Kenya's 5th president was to disband Special Police Unit accused of orchestrating extrajudicial killings in the country.
Sijui kama tunaelewana.
Then followed the Maraga-led task force on police reforms that aimed to create a safer, more accountable and community-oriented law enforcement system in Kenya. 3 years later, the monster still lives. What exactly happened?
Where I see it, it's more a question of character than knowledge. What we have in this country are people who are highly skilled, but have no character. That is what is eating us. Leaders who are proficiently competent, technically competent, but they have no character. So until the time we get a leader or a crop of leaders who will champion character, ethics, integrity, which we don't have in this government, even in the previous one, then we are still not going anywhere.
The old ghost of state repression quickly resurfaced. The government responded with a familiar script, deploying heavily armed police to the streets in a bid to quell the protests. In 2024 only, Missing Voices documented a total of 159 cases of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances meted on Gen Z demonstrators who took to the streets to demand for better governance. What followed was a disturbing surge in cases of police brutality, enforced disappearance, and extrajudicial killings. Scenes of young protesters being tear-gassed, beaten, or arbitrarily arrested echoes Kenya's dark chapters, reminding the nation that while the players may change, the state's default response to dissent remains deeply entrenched in violence and impunity. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
Now we are taking a very short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians?
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Miti miti, panda panda, miti miti. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
Welcome back, and let's keep on informing you. Multimedia University student Eric Mutinda has pleaded not guilty to charges of murdering fellow student Cynthia Kemunto, whose body was discovered in a rooftop water tank at a campus hostel on March the 30th this year. The court declined to review his bail times, ruling that no witness have testified yet. Mutinda was declared fit to stand trial after a mental assessment, with 4 witnesses expected when the case begins on January the 26th of 2026. Meanwhile, Sylvia's family continues to oppose his release on bail, insisting they want justice served. A team of 12 cyclists from across East Africa is currently in Kenya on a cross-border ride to promote regional unity and raise awareness on climate change. The group, joined by persons with disabilities, is now on a 6,000-kilometer journey that began in Uganda last month.
Known as the Great Africa Cycling Safari, the team has been planting fruit trees in villages, schools and dry areas to encourage food security and environmental conservation. Their ride is both a symbol of integration and a call to action against climate change, carrying the flags of every nation they have passed through. The group's leader, John Baptist, said climate change is a crisis that demands urgent response. He added that planting fruit trees is a practical and lasting way to protect communities from hunger while conserving the environment.
So we encourage, by so doing, we encourage communities to grow more trees. And in food security, we encourage communities as well to grow fruit trees so that people can have enough food or enough fruits to eat. So the journey covers 6,000 kilometers done in 55 days. So this year's event started in Kampala on the 1st of August, and we went to Rwanda, we went to Burundi, went to Tanzania, and on Sunday 7th, we crossed into Kenya.
The journey, which started on 1st August in Uganda, has already taken them through Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and now Kenya. Kenyan rider Julius Mwenda says the experience shows that regional integration will deepen if citizens are allowed to move freely across borders without restrictive documentation.
Actually, we have launched this the fruit orchard garden here in Machako School, which will be following up. King's Mind Cycling Foundation has actually donated fruit seedling for this purpose, and that is Pan-Africanism that we are embracing.
The ride also features Anthony Mukwanja, a visually impaired cyclist who urged persons with disabilities to take an active part in safeguarding the environment and confronting the effects of climate change.
I feel good. I've enjoyed. I've met a lot of people. I've gone around 4 or 5 countries now, and it's a great experience. And being also the first blind cyclist to do the East Africa ride, it's something that it's encouraging, and I encourage also persons living with disabilities like me to give it a go and see how it will be and enjoy themselves.
The team is expected to conclude their journey next week in Uganda after completing 6,000 kilometers. For the cyclists, the goal is clear: to unite East Africans across borders and inspire collective action for a greener, more inclusive future. Rose Karori, KUTV.
The government is accelerating 6 billion Liwatoni fish processing plant in Mombasa, expected to create 2,500 jobs and boost Kenya's blue economy. Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation CEO Dr. Mika Nyaberi says phase 1 includes a 1,000-ton daily fresh and frozen fish facility, a 25-ton cannery, and a 1,000-ton cold storage unit. Phase 2, worth 4.5 billion shillings, will expand Liwatoni into a special economic zone with new infrastructure and renewable energy.
Speaking during a government assessment visit, Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation CEO Dr. Mika Nyaberi outlined progress on the 6 billion Liwatoni fish processing plant in Mombasa. He noted the project, launched in 2021 but delayed by court cases, is now on track. Phase 1, including a fresh and frozen fish facility with a capacity of 100 metric tons daily, a cannery processing 25 tons of canned products, and a 1,000-ton cold storage unit.
For export. And from the processing, as where we are standing here, is the exit, final product exit cold store. This final product exit cold store was supposed to handle about 25 metric tons of fish. And when processing is complete, at one time we would have 25,000 metric tons that would be exiting, and this would be filled in containers and be an exit.
Nyaberi said the second phase, estimated at 4.5 billion shillings, will be financed through public-private partnerships and build-operate transfer models. This phase aims to transform Luatoni into a special economic zone with new infrastructure, including jetty expansion, a fish mill, and oil processing plant.
And apart from the cannery, we have a fish mill that was introduced. And we're also going to introduce fuel handling for the vessels. And apart from that, we are also to have a flake ice processing machine. And this one would be producing almost 200 metric tons of flake ice every day.
The CEO stressed that the plant will also serve as a training hub to help local fishermen transition into large-scale fishing. He added that fish meal products from the factory will support animal and fish feed production, while fuel and ice services will ease fishing vessel operations.
Large fishing companies that are fishing in the ocean, and ultimately we bring in our local fishermen who would be able to supply fish in the long run. Therefore, it is something that it is a learning base for our fishermen to come and be able to become also large-scale fishermen. This fish processing plant was divided in several sectors.
KFIC CEO said the government has already invested 600 million shillings to secure 5 deep-sea fishing vessels, with KFIC targeting 100 vessels within the next 2 years. Paulette Akoth, KUTV.
We are taking our second break, but don't go too far, for we will be back with sports news.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii, na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ngari-ngari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwele. Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses, and we wait until we get a disease, and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that could be, that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins such as folate have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Welcome back, and let's get sporty. Now, Nyeri Golf Course will play host to the 19th leg of the KCB East Africa Golf Tour, slated for this weekend as golfers continue to battle for coveted slots in the tour's grand finale. Over 250 golfers are expected to battle it out for glory in Saturday's tournament, with action teeing off at 6:30 a.m. for the morning round and resuming at 12:30 p.m. for the afternoon session. The series, which has drawn more than 2,000 participants, has so far traversed over 10 counties in Kenya and expanded into Burundi and Uganda, and has impacted over 1,000 juniors through concurrent golf clinics aimed at nurturing young talent. And we have come to the end of today's Primetime News. Obviously, I have to say thank you to Samuel Kello for being on the sign language interpretation, to my directors and producers, and of course, see you next time. That is on a Saturday. Do have a good night.